Okay, Montero. Yeah, I think this is the first time we talked to them. We looked at some of their stuff. This light rare earth. I mean, I don't know if we want to spend too much time here. We could probably spend hours just talking about this one.
I thought the biggest surprise here was just how strong the management team was. You know, how many people were involved that
right
and could get the job done.
Yeah. No, I mean, obviously they have. Well, and plus the other thing is so they, this thing is this company's only a year old, really. I mean, they had been doing work, I guess, on the project for 2 or 3 years, but they're really about a year old, and they have basically a product that they can go market already.
Well, it's a rare earth company. No one probably even knows what this company is.
Oh, right. Yeah. So sorry.
Rare high grade project in
Tanzania.
Tanzania.
Tanzania, yeah, it's Wigu Hill, I guess, and then there's a certain zone of it that was the first one. I mean, it's kind of decent grade, 2-point-something% on light rare earths. I think most people still call modest, low grade.
Grade is 5 to 10%. So if they can actually achieve that, then it's high grade.
Yeah, what they want to do is they want to take, so their resource is at 2.6%, but in the first couple of years they probably exploit the highest grade sections of it and put 5 or 10% material through the plant early stage, and they have a lot of exploration that they could do across this whole hill. The whole hill is one carbonatite. It's a big pipe. It's about 6 kilometers, he was saying, across, and there's dikes all over the thing with rare earths mineralization. They've only explored one small section that looked pretty prospective because the widths were there and they were able to sample it, and there's really good grades. But that doesn't mean that.
We're speaking with Dr. Tony
Harwood. Tony Harwood, yeah, Harwood, yeah. Tony Harwood, the president CEO. Yeah.
And the one that I thought was an interesting thing he said. Everyone's into these heavies, but really he thinks, heavies aren't even necessarily going to be that exciting because, the clays are going to take care of that. Or am I getting that wrong?
Yeah, I don't know. That was his thought that many of the heavy rare earth deposits are difficult to mine, and then you have to break the rock because it's all in these hard granites. So, if they have these same type of things as in China elsewhere, the clays, where they could either just in situ. India has the monazite, which I don't think is necessarily, and there's got thorium and other things in there. So I don't know if it was India. I think he had mentioned that India would be a customer for their light rare earths. I don't know if India was going to be the source of any sort of clay deposit. But it doesn't matter. That's an offshoot. I think their potential advantage is that they're very interested in being, in market with a product. They really aren't they want to get the separated rare earth oxides, but they will do what it takes to get a product out there and sign, good, attractive offtake agreements as early as possible with the largest number of parties. And obviously, their competitor would be, well, it wouldn't even be Molycorp. It's got Molycorp early on here now. It's not. I don't know what they're doing for separation. I think most of their stuff is still going to go to China. They really want to hit the outside of China market. So you've got Linus, which is going to basically be selling separated rare earth oxides, and what they want to sell is that product right before the separated rare earth, mixed rare earth oxides. So there could be potentially a large number of customers for that because the separation, Linus itself could potentially be a buyer, he mentioned, but the product, for example, one of the things he said, hey, for mixed rare earth oxide, a glass coating, the value actually there is pretty significant. Mixed rare earth oxide, is used as a glass coating, for example, to get certain qualities for glass. I don't know, glazing or whatever it is, but and that's one potential that you can get a significant, revenues. They want a cash flow, I think, early in the thing, and then because there's also the 2-stage. What?
He kept emphasizing, similar to what we've been saying, it's all about, competing on a cost basis. You have to be the lowest cost, and they've fully prepared themselves to be the lowest cost, or they wouldn't be making an effort at all.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
it's not
Well,
about
there's two
great
things actually.
LEDs or lights or that. It's just about, can you compete, on your costs.
Right.
So that's
Right. Yeah. No. Okay. So that's a good point. That's one thing. The second thing though is the product that you have to produce has to be marketable. So he was also saying how if someone's just going to produce a carbonate concentrate, 44%, that's going to ship to China. How much is China going to pay you ultimately for that? Not a lot, because they produce, a lot of it already. The only way they're going to pay premiums or whatever good values for those if they're not getting enough of that out of Bayan Obo, the big mine in China that they have there. So that's a good point, that they don't want to produce a carbonate concentrate. They want to produce a mixed REO concentrate that's higher quality that takes it further down the road. That's not something they want to deal with at all. So two things. So one is yes, cost. Number two, attractive, marketable product. Right.
Right. So they're looking to help them build the separation plant, right?
Not initially. So that's the other thing. So they want to basically cash flow with the stage one to create basically the mixed REO and cerium oxide, whatever other products they could do.
Right, but he said they pretty much still need a partner for that, because that's going to cost, I forgot what it was, $20, $30 million. They're a $6 million company with a couple million in cash. So
well, right, they need that for the first stage.
They want to get that offtake agreement, and then that'll be the foot in the door for 2 or 3 people. They wanted to attract 2 or 3 partners, right? So.
Right, so they want to do potentially, ideally they do the whole thing, but I think what they had mentioned is that, look, stage 2, they want to have a partner that they would build the plant with, and then, maybe that would be one option. Maybe it's in South Africa or wherever the partner wants to locate something, and then, that would be the separation plant that would feed a portion of the product. Maybe they would still sell some mixed rare earth oxides or whatever other intermediate products in between, but you'd also have the separation plant to be able to supply the market with the separated rare earth oxides.
They're probably going to need a partner for stage 1 as well, is what I'm saying.
Yes, right, but it's a lot. I think the stage 1 is under $100 million. That he felt pretty confident that if they kept it relatively simple and what they've seen so far, that now of course a lot of people said, hey, look how cheap it could be, and then everyone comes out with something that's like 5 times.
Well, I don't think we got into why would it be so much cheaper there than say for Frontier to build separation facility.
Well, okay. Frontier's planning to build a 20,000 ton. Now wait a second. I don't know if it's that really that big a difference. Frontier's planning to build a 20,000 ton per year separated rare earth oxide plant. These guys are talking about 5,000. What?
I think he's talking 5,000 to 10,000. But
He's talking about 5,000. He's talking about 5,000, not necessarily. He's talking about 5,000 tons per year mixed rare earth oxides. So he's saying that could be under 100 million, but I don't know. It could certainly be more.
Right. The whole stage 2 separation plant would be on the order of 300 million, with a third
right.
of.
Yeah, that's for 5,000 tons. That sounds more like a pretty conservative number. I don't know about the under 100 million for stage 1, but certainly if they can do that and they can partner, if they partner with someone and they have an offtake for that product, for an intermediate product, whether it's the mixed REO or cerium oxide or any other combination of things they could produce, at some intermediate stage before the full separation, and be in production with it, next year, which is I think still very aggressive. That would be very significant, because I don't think cerium and lanthanum are going to $1 or $2 a kilogram. With worst case, projections, next year. So if they can capture 2 or 3 years of cash flow, they'll pay off the plant. They'll pay off their initial plant if they could produce anywhere near 5,000 tons of any kind of rare earth oxide or any mixed product.
Producing next year, they're going to really have to get the ball rolling. So I feel like it's one of those wait and see. It could happen any day. They could have, they could announce some.
They have to announce deals. Okay, so if they get deals announced, I think we should keep our eyes peeled on that, because if they announce a deal, especially if there's a cash component, and I guess, one point he made is, if it's with the Koreans, then, or some of these other parties, you have to be careful as to what is really considered final. Only when the money is in your account is that you say it's final. But nonetheless, we should keep our eyes peeled, because if they get something, and especially if there's financial terms that is funding type of parts to it, then there's a good potential that they would go, pedal to the metal again. I got the sense that, they've done a lot now. They've gotten to the stage where they've got a product they're marketing, and now, let's see what happens with this before going too much further with anything else. So this is kind of a critical stage for them, and the critical stage is really announcing some sort of agreement with some industrial or offtake or some other kind of technology or whatever, some kind of partner to bring in the financing and industrial side of this thing. Okay, let's go to the next one.